Good morning, YCC Kids. Now, I hope that you've had an amazing half term, whatever you've been up to. We have got another story and another craft activity for you this morning, so keep watching. Here comes Bridget.
Hey, Stan! Oh, Stan, where are you? Stan? Stan? What are you doing?
Hey, Bridget!
Hi.
Well, I saw a friend doing cartwheels in the yard, and I really wanted to try it. But no matter how many times I try, I still can't do it.
Oh, rubbish. I can't do cartwheels either.
Well, I've been at this for 2 whole minutes now. It's really starting to ruin my perm.
2 minutes? Well, why don't you take a nice break from that and we can do our Bible story for the day.
Yeah!
Okay, so today's Bible story is about an amazing young woman called Hannah. And Hannah was married to a man called Elkanah, and they loved each other very, very much, and they were very happy together. They wanted to have a baby.
Oh, that's so lovely! And they lived happily ever after. The end. Man, that was a really short story, Bridget. But how does that help me do a cartwheel?
Well, no, unfortunately it wasn't that simple. So even though Hannah wanted to have a baby so much as she tried, she would never get pregnant. She couldn't have a baby.
Oh no, that must be really difficult.
Yep. But to make it even harder, back in ancient times, when the story is set, a lot of the men back then had more than one wife.
What, more than one wife?
Yep. And obviously that wouldn't really happen nowadays, but back then it was completely normal. So even though Hannah was married to Elkanah, Elkanah has another wife as well as Hannah, who was called Peninnah. And Peninnah had loads of children. How do you think that made Hannah feel?
Humna, 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 humna. That's a lot of confusing names. But she must have felt really horrible. She wanted a child so bad, but she can't have one. And the other wife had loads.
And Peninnah would always tease Hannah about it as well. And Hannah couldn't do anything about it, and she just felt miserable. She knew that she had no control over the situation, and she'd done everything that she could do, but still, she was never getting pregnant. So she turned to God. Hannah went to the temple and began to pray. While she was praying, she made a promise to God. She said, "Dear God, if you please, please, please give me a son, I will dedicate him to you for his whole life." And as Hannah was praying, a man called Eli came up to her, and he said, "Go in peace, and may God answer your prayer." After that, Hannah left. She felt so much better because she felt that she'd talked to God about what had bothered her.
So, did God give Hannah a son?
Well, Hannah prayed and she went back home with her husband, and at the start it didn't seem like her prayer had been answered. But a year later, something amazing happened.
Did Hannah do a cartwheel instead?
No, she gave birth to a baby boy.
Yay!
Hannah named her son Samuel, and she loved him so much, and she remembered the promise that she'd made to God all that time ago. So she did what she said that she would do. She dedicated her son's life to God, and he grew up to be a really good man.
Wow! So basically, when we really want something to happen, but don't have the ability to do it, we could pray to God and ask Him to help us out.
Yes, but remember that God doesn't always answer our prayers straight away. Like Hannah, they had to wait a whole year for their prayer to be answered.
Wow! Well then, I'm gonna go pray to God right now to help me do a cartwheel. Bye!
Bye!
So we have just had Bridget and Stan talk to us about the story of Hannah, which is one of my favourite stories. And in the story, Bridget talked about Hannah being persistent in prayer. She prayed for the same thing, and she trusted in God that He would do what she had asked Him to do. So we thought it'd be a really good idea to make some prayer books. So for this, you'll need some scissors, some string, a pen, a hole punch, and some different coloured bits of paper. So first, what you're going to do is take one of your bits of paper and fold it in half, like that. And then what you're going to want to do is put your hand on it and get your pen and draw around your hand, because our prayer booklets are going to look like hands that are praying. So I'm going to line my hand up with the edge, and I'm going to draw around my hand. So once you've drawn around your hand, you're going to want to cut it out. And once you've done this for one of your bits of paper, you want to do it for every bit of paper that you've got. So once you have cut out all your bits of paper in the shape of your hands, you're going to want to take each one and put it inside the other one. So my outside is going to be orange, and then green, and then I think I'm going to do pink, and then I'm going to have yellow on the inside. So as you can see, we're starting to get the shape of our prayer book. And the next thing you want to do is make some holes in it for the string to go through. So I've got a hole punch, but you could use a pencil and try and poke it through. And you're going to want to punch the holes near the bottom, there and there. And then you're going to want to get your string and thread it through the holes that we've just made. So I've threaded my string through and I've made a nice bow on the front. And now on the first bit of paper, I'm going to write my prayer book. And this is to help remind us of how Hannah pursued and kept on praying to God, and she had faith that He would answer her prayers. So I'm going to use this book to write down my prayers and remember what I've written, and I can keep praying the same things and asking God and being faithful that He will answer my prayers. So that is it for this week. I believe next week we are starting on a brand new topic, which is really exciting. But that's it for our Bible superhero characters. So we will see you next week. Bye.